And then I said like, hey, we can go for some run, right? Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Some run?
Yeah, yeah. So when I approached you after 2 minutes, I'm like, yeah, we can go. I live 2 minutes from it. Like,
Yeah, because I want to know you. I open to say, okay, we are here, someone talk to me. And I want manipulate the situation to don't be more fast
yeah, yeah,
or don't feel uncomfortable.
yeah,
And after you start to talk, and then you're like, wow,
yeah,
can we sit?
yeah.
Like, I enjoy the conversation and you got nice conversation, so we can continue talking. And maybe if you got something more to give me, more than sex or more than just one night, or
yeah,
you know, for me it's like I don't want relationships
yeah,
without something more than the company or the attraction.
yeah,
I want something more productive or abundant.
yeah, 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 yeah.
If you understand me.
I understand you totally. Yeah. So I would say to your situation, you know. So in the first moment, right? You, as you said, it was just not the timing. You didn't know me, and you wanted to fight out. Is this guy good? We will talk later about your checklist, but you just wanted to spend some time and find out, is it worth? I cannot go there. I cannot go there because I don't know if this guy is good and everything, right? And yeah, then we were talking and we were having like good conversation, and you started to feel more comfortable. And there was one thing you said, right? You said you don't like it because sometimes there are just drunk guys who want to approach you
Yeah.
because they just want to fuck you, right? And it doesn't make you feel good, right? So that's something you had in your mind, right?
I think it's the experience I have, and I put my checklist to my to get my standards to
Yeah.
decide what type of people I want around me or what type of guy I want in my life.
Yeah,
And of course, I'm sure I don't want a guy without mind successful
yeah, yeah.
or a positive mind
Mm.
or something like that.
Mm.
So when you accept to go to sit with me, I start my checklist
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
instantly.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, he go with me to sit, take
That's
seat.
crazy.
So okay, check.
Yeah. To
And after
taxi,
it's check,
To-
instantly.
to taxi.
Taxi.
He went with me to. You mean the bank? Because I said I didn't pressure you to go home to me, and I
Mhm.
sat with you there, and then I let you. We talk, right? Do you talk about that?
About when I start my checklist.
Yeah. Anna, babe, just for the guys, right? So here's the deal, right? So with her, right? She wanted to see that, it's not as she said, right? It's not just a drunk guy who comes up and wants to fuck you, right? You wanted to see it if I have good intention and everything, right? So she actually has standards, right? So you actually have a checklist, like with what people you want to surround yourself with. I actually find it really good, right? Because then you don't hang around with toxic people and everything, right? So we were sitting down on a bank because she didn't feel ready at that time. So she figured out if I'm cool or not, right? And then she, for some reason, you asked if I'm drunk, right?
Yeah, because I saw your eyes, and this is the
Yeah.
first things I think when someone come to me in Playa del Carmen, because
Yeah.
that's happened many times. The guys are drunk, they want fuck girls, So I got this experience to play
Yeah.
that Carmen before. So for me, it's like, oh,
Oh.
no more, please.
Yeah.
So for that, I start to talking with you, and when you give me reasons to have a conversation, and I connect, like I really want, but I don't know. So how I can
Yeah.
take a good decision,
Yeah.
and we started talking, and after when you said go to take a seat, and you started talking, oh, in this moment, it's like the start of my checklist is like safe
Yeah,
people.
Yeah. You felt more safe.
Safe people, or compassionate people, empath people, and that's a great.
Yeah.
That just for humans.
Yeah.
For have sex or relationships more profound, I got other checklists.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
So I ask you if you are drunk because I just thinking in physical things, in the body language, like you're talking about, but I don't have many knowledge of body language.
Yeah.
I just make a observe patients, and I say, he's drunk or not. But I don't know who ask if I go to offend him, so I just ask him.
You cannot offend me, but it's totally fine because look, in your situation, you don't know, so you have to ask, right? It's like, for example, I'm talking to a girl and I don't know here she's transsexual. I would ask too, right? Because I would be afraid of that. So it's totally normal, right? But what made you think that I have good intention when you asked me if I'm drunk? What did I tell you?
And you told me it's normal because some people tell you look like high all the time, but it's your testosterone, your level of testosterone.
Yeah.
And I got a new knowledge because when you decide to show me, like, look, this is my exams, I say, okay, he got proofs.
Yeah.
So he don't lie.
Yeah.
I think he's nice. And that's nice because he showed me to say, I don't like you.
Yeah. So one thing was the proof that I'm like, hey, look, I that's actually me. I have high testosterone, right? That is the reason. And one thing was also that it shows like, hey, I'm not just here drunk and approaching you. Like I actually want to get to know you. I'm interested in you. You know, I'm always like this. I always look like this, but I'm interested in you, right? So that's something you said the last time we talked about it. Am I right? Or
about your interest in me?
So when I said, for example, the thing with
I don't understand the question.
Wait, okay, give me a second. So, for example, when I said something, when I showed you the testosterone test, right? So, one thing was that you believed me, that I showed you trust, right? Right?
Yes, I feel and I think that's the correct way.
Yeah.
Because for me, you look like drunk.
Yeah.
And that's
totally
the
understand.
first thing I think when someone comes to me by that Carmen.
Yeah.
Because here happens all the time, and not just in Playa del Carmen, in all the places in Mexico, it's like that. So the women in Mexico, we take care all the time. About
you felt safe. Yeah. Yo, what's up, guys? Let's summarize this real quick. So a lot of girls, they don't want to be used just for sex. So how do you work around that concern? There are several ways, but in this situation, I worked around it by being a mentor, by being an authority position, right? And I did that by telling her how her mind works, by telling her how to think positively. And also, I increased her knowledge. I gave her life knowledge, right? So, guys, that's something you can do if you already have sexual value and she's worried just about being used for sex. And that's the perception I always have. So actually showing other things that I'm just not just interested in sex with her, that I can talk about other stuff, it actually helps me. And a lot of people think being smart is not good. No, that's wrong. Being smart is really good. It's a survival trait. But you want to do that if you come across as intimidating or she sees a lot of value in you, right? If you have that nice guy perception, I don't know, I don't think so that it will help. With me, a lot of girls say I'm really smart and they fuck with me because I'm smart. So keep in mind that can be really helpful if you have a high value perception in the girl's mind. So yeah. So another thing I want to touch on, which she mentioned, is that a lot of guys hit on her and she thinks they are drunk. So how can you prevent that? First, by telling her that you're not drunk. And I did it by showing my testosterone test. And it made her trust me that I'm not drunk because I could provide that test, right? But especially for me, that is really hard, right? So another thing is, guys, don't do half-ass approaches, because then you come across like a drunk guy who goes to every girl. And far more than that, it also shows her that you don't really want her. Because if you go half-ass and you don't really go in with confidence, it's like, he doesn't really want me. He's more worried about not being rejected. Maybe he does that to every girl, right? She doesn't feel special. You have to go full all in, eye contact, sub-communications. You have to go full all in. So, yeah. So the last thing I want to touch on is trust. That's something no one talks about in the pickup community. Why? Because I came up with that shit myself. I've read it and I saw it in sales. In sales, I've learned it. The last thing, that's something I never say in the whole fucking YouTube. So that's something nobody comes up with. So how do you generate real trust from women? You do it by indifference. That is real trust. And I had trust routines and everything, but they wouldn't work as that. And I had that from sales and from reading, right? So women experience real trust when you're indifferent. So in that moment, for example, she didn't agree to go home with me right away. She wanted to sit down with me. And I looked at her, yeah, okay, not a big deal. Okay, let's do it. And I was relaxed. So what happens if you in that situation not relaxed, you act reactive and you ask her, why do you don't come to me? Why do you not go home with me? And you try to convince her. And also your facial expression. What happens then? She will think she will go home with you in the bedroom. And you will do the same thing. And you will force her to do things she doesn't want when she's not ready. So when you show her that you don't really care and it's not a big deal, that's a lot of trust, because she knows you're not gonna force her to anything, and you worry about her feelings. You take that into consideration. You don't force anything, and that is real trust. And today I had a girl here, right? And she didn't want to come in my bedroom right away. And she's like, can we sit here? And I just act relaxed. Okay, no big deal. And then things changed very, very fast. So you have to understand, by acting indifferent
and not forcing and not convincing them to sleep with you, that actually makes them sleep faster with you if you not give a fuck. And that is the biggest I cannot say that word, indicator, the biggest indicator. You can talk about your family and everything, but that is the real test for them. If they can feel, or you don't really give a fuck, you don't force things. Keep that in mind. That shit is so important, guys. When I learned that, it had such a massive difference on my interactions, right? So that is something really important I wanted to touch on. And the next thing, good intentions. Good intentions, that's something also a lot of women mention. So you have to come across as a good human being and like you actually care. Because especially when you're really high value and they have that perception of you, or they think you're above them, right? Then you have to come across as good intention, because that you have to come across as like you have good intentions. You have to have good intentions, actually. So how do I know that? Because a girl told me, when you act too confident, they sometimes think you're a narcissist or you're a bad person. So you have to balance that out by showing her good intentions. And that was not that girl. They were mentioning this shit to me multiple times. So good intentions, that's really important. And if you that actually makes sense with the part I was talking about before. If you come across like forcing and everything, you don't really want the best for her. You come across as really selfish, bad intentions. You understand? So they want to feel safe. That's how you make them feel safe. There are also other ways, like with protecting them, physically protecting them and everything, but that helps. So guys, for anyone who wants to high testosterone test from me, write me on Instagram. It's Coach Kojo. Coach full stop Kojo. Other than that, I will have boot camps in LA. Subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell, comment what you want to see next. Peace out.